Hello everybody, I'm Jackqvilin. I'll be taking psychology class to you. Today I'll be teaching you the fourth chapter or the fourth unit, that is learning. In this chapter, I'll be teaching about nature and characteristics of learning, types, laws of learning and theories of learning, and then I'll be teaching at last transfer of learning, how the learning is been transferred to another situation. First I'll start with the definition of learning. The definition says is, it is acquiring of knowledge. Acquiring means you are gaining. Okay, and then another definition is, third definition I'll be telling you, that is learning is the acquisition of habits, knowledge and attitude. That means you are acquiring in day to day about what your habit is or what habit contains about, and your knowledge and attitude. This is the definition of learning. Next I'll be teaching you the characteristics and nature of learning. The characteristics of nature says that learning is a process. Process means it is a ongoing nature. And the second one is, it involves all the experiences from birth to death. That means you are gaining knowledge, that means learning, gaining knowledge through your experience in everyday life, and it starts from the birth and it ends till the death. And this produces change in your behavior. When you learn something in your life, that will make a changes, or it brings a change in your behavior. The next point is, learning makes change in behavior either positive or negative. As we already studied in this previous nature, that is previous topic, it says experiences. Through experience you are gaining. When you get experience, your experience can be positive or your experience can be negative. So when you get the experience, that makes your change in behavior. So changes in behavior can be either positive through the experience or it can be negative through your experience. The next point is, learning prepares an individual for adjustment and adaptation. This means individual, by learning something in your life, you will get adjusted towards the environment and you will try to adopt the new things, or what you learn, the new steps, you will take it into your life. That means that is also a learning. The next one is, all learning is a purposeful and goal oriented. See, when you have a purposeful goal, because of the goal you need to learn. If you learn, or if you understand that, then you will reach your goal. Without any purpose, there is no use of learning. So learning is a purposeful and goal oriented. The next one is, the scope of learning is too wide. Wide means it is huge in nature. The next one is, learning is universal and it is continuous. Learning is universal because there is no age limit for it. Any person can learn in any age, and it is continuous. Continuous means it is ongoing process. The last one is, learning does not include those changes that occur as part of maturity, drugs, etc. The statement means that the learning should be according to the normal human behavior, and the person is normal. If the person is druggist or alcoholic, his mind state will be in different form. So that means there will be problem in learning. So learning is mainly for those who are normal in mind or normal behavior for them. This finishes your nature and characteristics of learning. Next we'll see the factors affecting learning. Factor affecting learning can also be called as factors influencing learning. Okay, and this mainly includes three factors. The first factor is internal factor of the learner and external factor. Other than the person, the environment it includes, that is external factor. And the third one is methods of learning. These are the three factors that affect learning. I'll repeat it again. First one is internal factor, second one external factor, and the third one is factors related to methods of learning. These are the three factors which affect or which influence in learning. The first factor I'll explain. The first factor is internal factor. Internal factor, here it is given as factors related to the learner as a person. The internal factors are age, motivation, intelligence, aptitude, maturity, physical condition and mental condition of the learner. Here it explains about the learner's learning capacity or the acceptance of the knowledge or acquiring knowledge depends upon the age factor. That means in what age what is supposed to be learned, that is what this says about. And then what is motivating the person to learn, that is also matters. And the intelligence IQ level of the learner is also included in this. And then aptitude they have already given, that is innate and specific learning ability. The next one is maturation. Maturation is what is the capacity or what level the matured person is. That will depend upon how well he can learn or understand the subject, content or object. And the next one is physical condition of the learner. Physical condition is what is the condition or the physical appearance, or you can also say it as what is the physical state of the learner. That includes whether the person is blind or deaf, dumb, or is he mentally fit or no. These are all the factors that will include in the physical condition of the learner. And then mental health condition also, whether he is facing any psychiatric problems. And the next one is emotions of the learner. A simple example is when the person has a depression, about if a person has lost somebody in his life and is facing through a depression. In that state, in that main state, if somebody goes and teach you one of the subject, obviously he will not be interested in that. So emotion or the mental state of the person also involve in learning. So these are all the factors of a learner, which is internal factor of learning. The second one is external factors. External factors include good physical environment, that is the environment where the person is learning should be well set. There should be proper light, there should be there should not be any noise, it should be comfortable. The next one is quality of teaching. Example is classroom. It depends, the learners accepting or acquiring knowledge capacity also depends upon how the teacher is teaching the student or how the teacher is teaching the learner. So that quality also affects. And then social support. Social support is what you get the support from your society. And the next one is availability of the resources. Resources is what the person wants to learn, whether it is available or no, or what and all the resources are available. So learning depends on the availability of resources as well. So this is all about the external factor. The third factor is factor that is related to methods of teaching. Methods of learning. In methods of learning, there are basic education system or basic education level. That means what level a person should be. The next one is length of working period, repetition. How much the repetition occurs, how many times it is repeated a single topic, that also depends upon how the person is learning. In simple way, one small topic which is so easy, it can be repeated once or twice or thrice. If the same topic, if the teacher is repeating for 20-30 times, the student will not be interested in the same topic anymore. Though he will understand, but he'll get irritated towards that. So repetition also matters in learning. And then methods of, these are the factors that related to methods of learning. These are the three factors that influence in learning. I'll just conclude this particular topic, that is factors influencing learning are three factors, that is internal factor, external factor and factors related to methods of learning. Next I'll be teaching you about types of learning. In types of learning, there are 8 major types of learning, and those 8 types of learnings are: first one verbal learning, second one motor learning, third one conceptual learning, fourth one problem solving learning, fifth one serial learning, sixth paired associate learning, and then next one Bloom's domain of learning, and the last one is informal, formal and non-formal learning. Now we'll see what is verbal learning. Verbal learning is the language we speak communicate, signs, pictures, symbols, words, figures, etc. What it means is through your mouth, by using language, what you express to make the other person understand, or what the other person is saying to you by the language they speak, and pictures what they show, symbols, etc. Through these what you learn is called verbal learning. The next one is motor learning. Motor learning usually involves your physical body. When somebody is teaching you, a simple example is dancing. When somebody shows you dance and you want to learn the dancing, you will see dancing and you will use your physical body and learn that. That means you are using your motor. Motor means your body. So motor learning, it involves, examples are driving a car, flying a plane, drawing and using equipments, gym equipments, and dancing, walking, yoga. These are all the examples of motor learning. The next one is conceptual learning. Conceptual learning means based on a concept, a form of concept you will use and then you will learn on it. Here what is given is, it is a form of mental image which donates a generalized idea about the things, persons or event. What it means is, it gives a general idea. That means a generalized, there is no specific idea. This is generalized idea about things, person or event. This kind of learning is conceptual learning. The next one is problem solving learning. Problem solving learning is, you will learn by solving a problem. There will be a problem and you will solve it. How they have given here is a higher type of learning. It is a higher type of learning. It requires the use of reasoning, thinking, generalization. In problem solving learning, what it requires, you should need reasoning. Reasoning means there should be a reason behind what your problem solving method involves, and you will think. You are using your cognitive capacity and then your imagination and generalization. A very good example for problem solving learning is mathematics. In mathematics, you have particular question. On that one, you will think and you will analyze which formula can be used. And by using that formula, you think, you give a reason behind it, and you will imagine and you will solve the problem. That was one of the example for problem solving learning. The next one is serial learning. Serial learning is which comes one after the other. You are learning in a continuous way, and examples are, here it is given, learning alphabets, learning multiplication tables, which comes one after the other. Example 1, 2, 3, 4, and they're multiplied by their own numbers. That is multiplication of table. And then the name of the states of the country, list of PMs, presidents. See, this kind of this type of learning is how you learn one after the other, back to back. This is called serial learning. The next one is paired learning. Next type is paired associate learning. In this one, a learning is something in associate with something else. Example they have given here is Ganga is a river Ganges, and then Kishanpur is Lord Krishna's. The name, when you see, you will recognize what is it. And then match the following is dog, parrot, milk, animals, birds. See, in paired associate learning means you are pairing one meaning to the another meaning, and you will join together, or you will associate together and you will learn. That is called associate learning. The next one is Bloom's domains of learning. Bloom's, what he explained is, in learning, what it mainly contains about is affectiveness, psychomotor and cognitive learning. That means affectiveness, first I'll tell you, to learning, first you should have, according to Bloom's, first you should have cognitive learning, that is your thinking capacity. And then you will use your psychomotor. Psychomotor is you are connecting your mind, that is thinking capacity, and you are putting into action through your body. As I already told, motor means body. So you are using psychomotor. And then affectiveness. Affective means through thinking, what your body is utilizing the thoughts to learn, how much it is affecting. That means how much you are learning from it, or what your interest towards that topic is. This and all involves, or this is what Bloom's explains about. The last one, the last type of learning is, it is grouped into three categories: informal, formal and non-formal type of learning. The first one I'll teach you. Before informal, I'll teach you about formal learning. Formal learning is what you learn in, or what you study in your university, what you learn in your schools, colleges. That kind of learning is called formal learning, that is based on your interest. And then next one is informal learning. Informal learning is what you learn from your parents, your family members, and what you learn from your friends. This kind of learning is informal learning. The third one is non-formal learning. Non-formal learning is something you learn from the outside world, that is clubs, workshop, mutual interest, pubs, cinemas, mass media, etc. These kind of learning is called non-formal learning. So these are the types of learning. I'll conclude what are the types of learning. Types of learning, that is, there are mainly few types, that is verbal learning, motor learning, conceptual learning, problem solving learning, serial learning, paired associate learning, Bloom's domains of learning, informal, formal and non-formal learning. Next topic is transfer of learning. Transfer of learning is, in common I can say it as, how the learning transfers from one situation to another situation is called transfer of learning. That means you are transferring your, what you have learnt in one situation, you will be transferring from one to another situation. This is called transfer of learning. What the definition says is, transfer refers to the transfer of knowledge, training and habits acquired in one situation to another situation. I already explained this one. Example is, ability to play badminton can be transferred to play ability of playing tennis, because badminton and tennis are not same, but they have similar body movement. So when you have the body movement in playing badminton, that body movement can be transferred in playing tennis. That means you are using one situation of learning into another situation of learning. Now we'll see what are the types of transfer of learning. Types of transfer of learning. In these types there are mainly three types. First one, positive transfer of learning. Second one, negative transfer of learning. Third one, zero transfer of learning. First I'll explain what is positive transfer of learning. In positive transfer of learning, here it is given as previous learned benefits performed one or learned in new things. The learning example they have given is learning of basic science helps in learning higher education. And this means when you have learned a particular concept and that concept is being utilized in a positive way to another situation of learning is called positive transfer of learning. An example is, before learning any engineers, or I can give you an example of nursing. If you want to study nursing, if you have an interest in learning and if you have studied science in your plus 1 and plus 2, when you have studied science in your plus 1 and plus 2, that scientific knowledge will be helpful in learning nursing by giving reasoning process, or what you learn in nursing field, medical field. See, when you have learned science in your plus 1 and plus 2, that scientific knowledge will be helpful in when in nursing education, or when you are learning nursing. That will be easy for you to understand the science behind what we teach in nursing. So that is positive transfer of learning, which means you are that particular situation is being useful in a positive way to the another situation. This is called positive transfer of learning. And the next one is second one, that is negative transfer of learning. In this negative transfer, previous learnt hinders the performance or learning of new things. What it means is, when you learn something and that learnt knowledge is not useful or there is no use of learning in the another situation. Okay, for the particular situation is useful what you have learned, but the same topic when you are learning another topic, that is not useful when you are comparing it. A simple example they have given: when you pronounce but and you want to pronounce put, the word ut in but and the spelling ut in put are same, but the pronunciation differs. When you say but, you cannot say it as put, you have to say it as put. There is a difference in put and but. So what they are trying to say here is the pronunciation differs, though there are similar words in the sentence. Sorry, similar letters in a sentence. That is what negative transfer. You have learned one situation that is not helping you or that is not advantaging you in another situation. That kind of learning is called negative transfer of learning. The third one is zero transfer of learning. Zero transfer of learning is the previous learning has no influence on other learning. This means in one situation what you have learnt, the same situation when you get it and you are not applying, or there is no use or there is zero use of knowledge of old one or the previous experience is not useful in another situation, is called zero transfer of learning. So these are the three types of transfer of learning. I'll tell you once again what are the three types. That is positive transfer of learning, negative transfer of learning, and zero transfer of learning. In this chapter, the other topics are types of learning based on the modes of learning. That is mainly they are explaining the theories. Theories are also, you can say it as, based on the modes of learning. Those classifications, and another heading is laws of learning. These two topics I'll be teaching you in another class. For today I'll conclude it. Today I taught you about definition of learning, nature and characteristics of learning, factors influencing learning or factors affecting learning. The next I taught you about types of learning, and then transfer of learning. If you have any doubt regarding this class, you can ask me directly on WhatsApp or you can leave a comment. Thank you.